Welcome to Focus on Frisco. I'm Shannon Fallon, and I'm here at the Day Lodge over at the Adventure Park here on the peninsula in the town of Frisco. You're watching SCTV 10. We've got a great show. Sara Skinner is going to join us to talk about a lot of the events going on over here at the Adventure Park, and then we're going to be meeting with Joyce Allgaier. She's the brand new Community Development Director here at the town of Frisco. So make sure you stay with us right here on SCTV 10. Hi there, and thanks for joining us here on Focus on Frisco. Look who I have, Sara Skinner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Shannon?
Good. Wow. So it feels like that we just went bam, 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 bam. I feel like the last time that we talked, it was all about
It's like summer.
Yeah, it was summer, and we were talking about fall programs, and then here we are talking about all the winter stuff.
Yep, it's tubing season.
Amazing. I know it is. And if anybody was out here during the Thanksgiving time, wow, the tubing hill was nuts.
We were hopping. There were lots of people here over the last weekend.
Oh my gosh. There have been so many people out at the Adventure Park. We went sledding a couple of times, and it was great. It's fast, and it's a lot of fun. We saw people tubing. We saw people over at the Nordic Center, and it was, what an amazing start to the whole season.
It was great. Yeah, there were
Really
people
great.
out using the tumble bubbles too. And
Oh my gosh.
there are lots of activities happening
So much
here.
fun. And if it speaks anything about what's going to happen this winter, it's going to be another amazing winter.
Yes, definitely.
So here's the thing. You can get your passes still, which means that you don't have to buy one every time you come to the tubing hill, which we hope is a lot, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But so you have passes on sale through December 16th.
Yes, so we have our season passes on sale now. It's $79 per person, and you can have as many people on that one pass as you want. And this year, we don't have any blackout dates for that pass, so
Oh, no way.
it's huge. Yeah, but you have to purchase it by December 16th.
Okay, so that means if you have a family of 4, it's $79 per person, unlimited tubing.
Yep, you got it.
So basically, if you go 3 times, you've almost paid for it per person. All right.
It's
so
an
that's,
awesome deal.
I mean, that's a really good deal. So, but can you do 2 people on it? Can you do 8 people?
You
And
can
it's
do-
non-transferable.
It is non-transferable, so
Okay.
it is $79 per person, and that's, you can't move that one around.
Got it.
But yes, you can have
Super
2
fun.
people on it, or
As many as you want. And I have had those passes before, and it's a lot of fun. And it just makes it super easy. You decide, hey, I'm going to do it. And you come in or call.
make a reservation.
Exactly.
We can get you in the computer and
Yep.
send you out on the hill.
And when you know that the days are slow, we used to like to come over after school.
Oh, yeah.
Because it started to get quiet, and you would go for 2 or 3 runs. And that was the great thing about these passes, you guys, is you never have to feel pressured that you have to go like 27 times in an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
You
you
can come
have a
back
pass.
tomorrow.
Exactly. So it's a lot of fun. Do remember, though, that you should always make those reservations. And while the blackout dates are no longer in existence, think about it before you head out.
Definitely.
A lot of those dates were blackout dates because they were so crazy busy.
Really
So
busy.
when you have the pass, hold off. Go on those other days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to use that for a bunch of different people, we also have our 10 punch pass. So that is a transferable pass. And we have a couple different rates. If you live in Summit County and in Frisco, we give you guys a deal. So it's $199 if you are out of the county, $170 if you live in Summit County, and then $160 if you live in Frisco. So
Gotcha.
that's also a really good deal. You can have, anybody can use those passes. Yeah, it's great.
That's pretty great. So that ends up coming down to about $16.
Yeah, so you save
each
almost
if
$10.
If you're a Frisco resident. Yeah, that's pretty great too.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are just on sale through December 16th.
Yep.
And you need to come into the Adventure Park to get it.
Or you can give us a call. We can do it over the phone
Okay.
too.
No pictures or anything like that?
No pictures. It's all on our computer system.
No kidding. Wow, you guys are so modern. All right, so think about that. So much fun. It really is a great way to spend an afternoon, or if you have a pass, many, many, many. Now, if you have friends coming into town, don't forget that, of course, the tubing hill is always open.
Yeah.
And you guys are running 7 days a week right now.
We are, yep, from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Our last reservation goes out at 5.
Okay.
And yep, we run every 15 minutes. We send out a new group of people, and yeah, it's great.
Very cool.
Everybody's been having a good time so far.
I can imagine, and the snow has been great, and I can see out of the corner of my eye that it's being blown today as well. So how much better does it get?
Oh yeah.
All right, Sara, so what else do we have coming up? Let's start to talk. Gosh, we've got the soup cup.
Yeah.
That's coming up
December 6th.
December 6th. So and that's always a lot of fun. But then as we look into the rest of the winter, talk to me about some stuff that's going on.
So right after the holidays, we have a couple events coming up, and the first one is January 9th, and that's the Frisco Gold Rush. We are in our 46th annual year for that event. It's the longest running Nordic ski race in Colorado, so that's claim to fame there.
Wow.
Really cool.
Big.
Yeah, huge. And then that event also runs along with our spontaneous combustion, so the community bonfire. So that'll be the same night later on over in the lot in front of the marina. So drop off your Christmas trees if you want to get rid of them that quick, because we'll need the ammunition there for the fire.
Yes, for the combustion.
Yes, you got it. So yeah, and the Gold Rush, I mean, we'll have a couple citizen races, a 20K skate race, and some shorter distances. If you're new to skiing, we have some easier stuff. I think it's a 3K race that we'll have going on. And then we'll also be hosting some of the high school chassa races again as well.
And that was the first time was last year, wasn't it? Or was it a couple years?
I think it's 2 years now,
Okay.
and it's really fun. These kids are very, very talented and
They
super
are.
competitive, so it's fun to watch them all take off together. And
It's pretty amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of energy.
So that is the weekend of January
9th.
9th. Okay. And to get more information on that, where can people go to register, to find out how to participate or
You can see
observe?
all of this at friscorecreation.com. That'll take you right to our events page, and you can check out any of our other upcoming events and more details on that.
This is a neat way, for I think for people who are just kind of getting into the sport, you can watch and see how people do it. And for those shorter races, you can participate without that whole 20K thing.
Yeah,
which
I mean,
you said
I don't
down
think
from 30.
It was 30 last year. We're switching it to 20. And I mean, we had a lot of people do it still, so it's really cool. We had a new course last year
really
where
cool.
we race up and around the tubing hill and in the adventure park, and people really liked it, so we're going to keep that around.
Yeah, so it's such a big sport up here and so much fun to watch, and really, you can really start some of these kids early. If you go talk to everybody over at the Nordic Center, they do such a great job of making the kids excited about it.
Oh yeah.
And the options that they have for getting out there and making them feel good is really cool.
Yeah, they have lessons over there, and they play games and do some after school stuff if there are kids that want to keep coming back, and they do a really good job with the kids over there.
So you can always stop by the Nordic Center as well to get, if you decide not to participate in the Gold Rush, you can always stop by and get some information about what else to do.
Yeah.
Good. So that's into January. Spontaneous combustion is the weekend. Is the same
it's
weekend.
the same night as the Gold Rush races. So.
Anything else that we need to know as we start to move into December and January?
Oh, I don't know. Come out and come tubing with us. We are open 7 days a week and ready to take reservations. If you are planning on coming over the Christmas holidays, make sure you give us a call because we do tend to book up those days.
Yeah. So let's just give a quick rundown of all the things that people can do out here at the adventure park.
Yeah.
So we've got the Nordic Center, and that's for skate skiing, classic skiing,
and snowshoeing.
All you have to do is go into the Nordic Center and get a pass. You have to have a trail pass to do it, but you can bring your own equipment or rent it, and it's very reasonably priced in terms of rentals.
Yeah.
So then, as you come over here, as you can swing by, and if you have your own sleds, you can do sledding, no charge. It's right on the other side and super fun. You do it at your own risk. I'm just going to put it out there.
True.
and there are a lot of things that you can flip over, which is a lot of fun, but you do it at your own risk. And then as you come back over here toward the adventure park, I mean, there is tubing, there's the tumble bubbles, and they're sitting in here in this great lodge. They have drinks and places to warm up. There's a fireplace, a TV, and you guys do a really good job with it.
Thanks.
Yeah, tons of fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Sarah, thank you very much. Probably the next time that we meet you, we're probably going to be heading into some of those late winter and early spring things, right?
Definitely. Crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well, enjoy the winter, and I hope you have great holidays, and we look forward to seeing everybody out here as much as you can. We're going to take a quick break here on Focus on Frisco. Stay with us on SCTV 10. Welcome back to Focus on Frisco. Thanks for sticking with us. And I have Joyce Allgaier. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are the new Community Development Director.
Exactly.
It's great to see you.
Thank you very much.
So you started over here with the town in October, but you've actually lived in the town for a while.
I did.
Okay.
I've lived in Frisco for just a little over a year now.
Great.
And I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I live in the Peak One neighborhood, so that's
Beautiful,
a
isn't
fantastic
it?
place to be.
Yeah. It really gives you, for somebody who's new to the town, it really gives you a great sense of the town and who lives here. It's really neat, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's definitely a multi-generational neighborhood. There's lots of young families, kids, which I really like.
Yeah.
And it's just a good place to be.
Good.
Near the trails and
Yeah. And so, as I was getting to know you via paper, I was learning about your love of the outdoors. So let's talk a little bit about that. I think that's one of the things that you feel like if you're going to move to Frisco or some of these mountain community towns, that you really have to embrace. And it sounds like you absolutely positively do. We'll talk about your background and other places that you've lived, but you are very into Nordic skiing.
Yes, I am. That's sort of my my passion in sports is cross-country skiing. I've done it for a long time and lived back in Vermont and some other places where it's really popular, and have put my foot into some racing, which is fun. I'm not sure I'm going to do too much more of that.
Are you going to do the Gold Rush?
I'm going to try to do the Gold Rush this year, yeah. So now that I've said it, I better do it.
Right, exactly. We're going to hold you to it.
Okay. Well, Sarah just talked about that. And
she did.
I hope to do that and get in better shape to do it.
Good.
So, yeah, I really love to cross-country ski. I also like to play tennis, and there's a really good tennis community here in the greater Summit County area. Lots of people, always getting out, very excited group. So that's been a good way to get to meet people, and I really enjoy it. But then I also like to get up high in the mountains. So that's my last thing I can mention.
Oh my gosh.
It's really important to me to have wilderness around, and you know.
And what is it about it that draws you to that?
I think, I guess, sort of pristine nature and observing nature, whether it's wildlife or just the forest and these incredible vistas that we have here and around Colorado. And then coupled with, I think, the challenge of climbing and hiking and getting up high and being rewarded. I think it's physical, it's sort of cerebral, it's, you know, just calming down and being out in nature. Yeah.
And what's interesting, as you are the community development director, I mean, it's a very fascinating thing because you have that absolute love of the pristine, but what you do every day is development and making sure that it fits with the community. And how do you balance those things? Because you certainly, I mean, you know, you hear so many different points of view as people talk about development in different towns, especially these mountain towns. How do you balance that?
Well, the balance is actually a pretty natural one. When you think about what it takes to be a high quality community, a high performing community, a place where there's a high quality of life for people, it's not really that difficult to understand the components of that. And of course, I think the first and foremost is the environment in which we live in. And so we need to, you know, make sure the quality of that natural environment is preserved and we live in it as people and as a community. And then secondly, you know, making, and this is more on the built side, the development side, as you said, is making sure we have neighborhoods and places for people to live and for people to interact. So one thing I really love about Frisco is it's downtown. You know, it's intact, it's genuine, it's a place where people interact and see each other, and it's fun to be in. It's, you know, there's events there, and so having places like that. And then those other, you know, the economy needs to be well supported and by businesses. Again, that's another part of our economic development or community development aspect. So all those things create a puzzle that's, I think they're all really obvious. It's not that we can only have wilderness like we see outside the windows here, but you know, we've got to find, as you said, that balance. And in community development, there's lots of competing values, but you know, when you come to communities like Frisco, people have identified what they value. So in a way, we know what we're trying to achieve, and then we have to write regulations to achieve that. We have to work with developers, we have to partner to make that all happen. So there's a lot of tools in our toolbox to make a good community.
You bet.
Yeah, it's fun.
I bet it is fun. And you certainly came in, as you joined us in October, you certainly came in at quite a time where there was some big renovations going on. Our whole Main Street is in the process of getting done, and it is exciting to see how they're putting all of those pieces together. Now you have lived in I guess tourist towns.
Sure, I'd be happy to tell you about some of those places. And usually, what I tell people when I talk about my career is how fortunate I've been in my career, because I've worked in some wonderful places. I started out in Vermont in two small, very agriculturally oriented places, but that were under a lot of pressure for growth. So that was Williston and Shelburne, Vermont, and they also had sort of an attraction for visitors. So, but I've spent a lot of time, and I worked for 9 years for the city of Aspen, and for a couple of years for the town of Snowmass Village, again doing community development work, and then most recently in Ketchum, Sun Valley, Idaho area for 3.5 years.
No kidding.
Before coming back to Colorado. And
Right?
I must say, I'm really happy to be back
Are
in
you
Colorado.
happy to be back?
Yes, I am.
Good.
It feels like my home, and
that's
I
good.
just like it here. I like how we live, and
It's a pretty cool little
yeah.
place.
So all of those communities were challenged with very similar kinds of challenges that we have in Frisco, with an economy that's driven to a great deal by tourism.
Right.
Affordable housing is really important. Housing our workforce so that we can support the kinds of things that people come here to visit for, whether it's the tubing hill or whether it's the ski areas or our great restaurants downtown, and the shops, the retail shops. So the affordable housing piece is really a big piece of building a strong community in these kinds of places.
And have you seen that to be true as you've moved through those other communities, those other mountain communities and tourist communities? Is that one of the things that runs through as kind of a thread that runs through all of them, that everybody is, I wouldn't say struggling with it, but really trying to make that happen? Because as you mentioned, these are the people that all of these people that live in town are going to then spend money in town and be invested in town, and try to make sure that their town is the best town that they can, and that's so important. But so you see that even in places like Aspen.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
And it's to me, having come from the background and the work that I've done in these places, and it's really become my specialty. But the issue really that rises to the top, I think, has always been workforce housing, affordable housing, because really without, and I guess what I want to stress is that we need to house the workforce because they are the workers that, as I said, work up at the ski area, work in our shops and restaurants. But they're also the people that create a sense of strong community. They're the people who work at City Hall, they're the volunteers, they're people who are the teachers, they're people with everyday jobs that make a community work. And we've also found through studies, I remember we did a study back in Aspen several years ago about what people were doing when they come to visit. And it turns out where visitors want to be, of course, they like to eat, they like to recreate, they like to shop. But an underlying theme was also they want to be where the locals are, and they want it, and that means there's a community there.
You have to have locals in order for them to be where the
Yeah,
locals are.
and to have fun, and to be at, let's say, the Thursday night concerts in downtown Frisco.
Right.
Well, tons of locals are there. It's fun to mix with the locals. So just in terms of building a sense of community and watching and caring for each other, we definitely need housing. It's a big one.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to work on it, so that's good.
Well, I look forward to talking to you, in the coming months and years about how that is going as we continue to grow all of these places and things like that. I think that's going to be fascinating to watch and fascinating to hear your new perspective on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well, I think it's great. We welcome you into the town.
Thank you.
I love your passion for Colorado and your passion for the outdoors. And what a neat time to come into the town where we have so much growth going on.
For sure. There's a lot of exciting things going on. It'll be fun to be part of it and try to help make it better.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Joyce, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Joyce Allgaier. She was joining us certainly as a new Community Development Director. And we thank everybody for watching us today. Another great show for Focus on Frisco. We wish everybody happy holidays and look forward to seeing you in 2016.